Driving to Taman Negara isn't so much difficult as it is such a long trip, but once you're in town, it's pretty easy to navigate to the park.
So this is Taman Negara. We finally gotten to the front gate. It's not really a gate, but to get to the park itself, you actually have to go across the river. It's 1 ringgit to jump on a boat and cross the river, and then you have to go up there. But all along the way, it looks pretty cool.
You have to hire a boat to drive you to the other side of the river. The boats leave when you arrive, so the only wait is during the high tourist times when there are many hikers waiting in a row.
It's 1 ringgit, yeah? Not that long, it looks like. Well worth a ringgit.
The trip only costs 1 ringgit, and it takes less than a minute.
This is so cool. I've just gotten off the boat. You have to take a boat over to this side, to the Taman Negara. Taman Negara is the only thing going on anywhere near this town, and the town is actually called Tahan. Tahan is just across the river. There is one resort over here, but basically the only other thing to do is to hike. They've got 2-day hikes, they've got 1-day hikes, they've got a couple of kilometers. I'm actually here to do the canopy walk. That was like my ultimate goal. But you know, they've even got a 7-day hike that goes up to the tallest mountain in Peninsular Malaysia. It's pretty insane. Anyway, I better hurry up if I'm going to get my ticket to the canopy walk.
Once you're on the other side, you're pretty much right there in the park. Just climb the stairs and find the registration to enter the hiking trails.
How you doing? I need a camera permit and a park pass.
How many people?
2. Alright, looks like the canopy tour, Titian Canopy, is 1.5 clicks. I thought it was going to be regulated, like only a certain amount of people on the thing at a time. There's really no guidance here. I just asked like the park sleeper where to go, and he's just like, over that way. It's so pretty. All of the the understory of the trees here. There's vines hanging, everything's all old growth stuff. It's going to be a fun walk, I think.
The hiking trails aren't very difficult around the front of the park. They're all planked for the resort guests. For more challenging hikes, join an overnight group.
We haven't even been here for 2 minutes. I've already seen ginger flowers. I saw ginger flowers up on the Cameron Highlands, but they were yellow. These are sort of a reddish color. Awesome.
Depending on when you come here, you'll see all kinds of wildlife. It'll be all around you wherever you look. You should be mindful even where you step. Larger animals won't be near the park entrance. You'll need to go on an overnight trip if you want any chance of seeing those.
Well, here I am. I'm finally at the canopy tour. I'm the last person to come in. The deadline to get in is 2:45, and they did me like a really cool favor and let me in at 3. It's actually 3:03 right now, so they're being really nice. But anyway, this is the canopy tour. It's awesome. It's the entire reason I wanted to come here. So far, I've already seen like crazy birds and huge spiders and all this kinds of stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing it from the top. definitely a trick to it. You have to reach out with the foot that's coming out and grab the rope, or else you're totally off balance. It's very, very weird. It's very high too, so you're already thrown off. I've already seen a monkey jump from one tree to another, and there's these odd-looking nests that are made up of these leaves that are kind of clumped together. It's pretty crazy.
The view of the canopy over Taman Negara is spectacular, and it's for good reason. They told me it was the longest canopy tour in the world, and as yet I've been unable to find proof otherwise. So if that's the case, all 510 meters of it offers the world's best view of the forest below. From the height of 45 meters, you can actually see the various layers of the forest where different species of birds and other vertebrates make their homes. It's only a 15-minute walk from the entrance, so regardless of why you come here, there should be no reason not to have this on your to-do list.
This is great. The canopy is so high. Makes you want to like grab onto stuff. That is not easy to do for a big guy. Like this guy right here.
Okay.
You know, as wide as this looks, it's not that wide. But it's definitely high. Oh my God, it's so tall. Looking over the edge, you think that you're just gonna, I don't even know. It's, you see the tops of the biggest trees, and the biggest trees are normally like, oh my God, that's such a big tree because it's so huge, but you're like way up above that. It's so crazy. That is a big tree. Oh my God, I don't know what they're called. You know, every once in a while you'll see a sign or something labeled on the trees, but it's the genus and the species. It's the scientific name. I'm not too good at remembering those. I used to. In college, I used to make it a personal challenge to memorize all of them. But not only are these much different than the trees that are in the States, they're so much stranger looking. They just have this sort of mystery to them. I don't know. And like, I just climbed on top of them. That's the coolest canopy walk I've ever done. For sure.
The canopy walk is pretty cheap, 5 ringgit for adults and 3 for children. You have to get here before mid-afternoon, however, because the locals don't like to work past tea time, and there has to be someone manning the entryways for insurance purposes.
So here we are. We've run across this turkey-looking bird here. And he doesn't seem to really be afraid of us. Oh my God, he's crazy. He's got like a leaf-like blue patch over both of his eyes. That is wild.
I later found out that this bird was actually named the crested fireback. But Taman Negara has a lot of cool birds for all you birders out there. In this park alone, there are dozens of species, including the white-rumped sharma, the rhino hornbill, the crestless fireback pheasant, the yellow broadbill, the great argus, and the black hornbill, all of which are amazing-looking birds, and most of which you can probably see on a regular day. On an overnight stay, however, you might see a tiger, an Asiatic bear, a herd of elephants, or even a tapir. They set out salt licks under the lookouts and stay up all night waiting for nocturnal animals to wander through.
This is Taman Negara in Malaysia, and in Bahasa Malaysia, Taman Negara actually means national park. So if you're asking, where is Taman Negara? You're actually asking, where is the country's national park? And this is it. It's nuts. It's actually more than 4,300 square kilometers. And if you can hear it, it's noisy and alive. It's so crazy. I've seen so much stuff since I've been here. Definitely worth the trip. So this is one of the cooler trees that are all throughout Southeast Asia and probably even other places as well. It's called the Pakwipa timoriana. That's one of the scientific names I do actually remember. And this one is interesting because it's got these sort of disc-like roots that grow up from the soil. It's kind of like they grow along the soil, and then they only slightly penetrate, and they pick up groundwater that pushes all, like sediment and things like that that's gathered at the root system. And then as the years pass, the roots grow on top of each other, and they pile up more and more sediment and trap more water. And as you can see, you can follow this root system all the way up. And it's a very effective root system because it's a huge tree. This is another one of those trees with an effective root system, just like the Pakwipa timoriana. They supply the tree with so much nutrients over the course of even just 30 years that they can grow like this big. I can like build a house in here. It's crazy big. And they're among the tallest trees as well. They go all the way up to the top of the canopy.
You can walk all of the park's main trails in just one day, and they'd be worth the time. Many hikers have been lucky enough to see some larger animals on these boardwalked paths. However, because they are so frequently trodden, the chance is actually very low that you'll be counted as one of those lucky few. To have any real chance of seeing larger animals in their natural habitat, get in with a 2 to 3 night group tour. These can range in price from 500 to 800 ringgit, and they almost always offer full board. They also bring groups through the Orang Asli villages, visiting the caves, and fishing for river catch. They also have speed boats and lots of other cool events. But probably the most important benefit for somebody like me is that the guides frequent these areas all the time, so they know where the animals are and how to spot them while walking through the woods. Because while I'm worried about schedules and steady shots, what I have little attention for is all the plant and animal life that's hiding in plain sight around these parts. So all throughout the park there are these, I think it's called a budun. It's basically a lookout. This one is pretty nice. It's on a 3rd floor. It's built way up. They cut a clearing so that people can come up here and you can camp right in here all night. And hopefully what you're hoping to see is like spotted leopards or, you know, wild boar, something like that. In any case, this is the first one I've seen, and it's, like I said, it's really, really nice. It's the closest one to the resort, and what they have signs all over the place saying, please be quiet, you know, no campfires,
take nothing but photographs and leave nothing but footprints. Selamat datang, which means welcome. And all around there are these creepy little sounds. Most of them are red squirrels and ground squirrels, but there is that hope. No matter where you're at in the world, you're never too far away from ants, or species to species derivative. These guys aren't exactly fire ants, but they've got the same reactivity that fire ants do. They hear something, this guy right here with these big chompers, it goes and looks for something, whatever it is, and it's gonna attack. This guy right here, he's got those big jaws. They're so organized. They're probably the most successful species on the planet. They're everywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if they were in Antarctica. Ants are unbelievably successful. They're organized. In most ant colonies, all the ants that you'll ever see are female. The main ant, the queen, produces only females to do all of the work, all of the nursing, all of the food gathering, all of the construction. Males are simply made by choice, actually. The queen actually chooses which sex to birth, which is another amazing feat of evolution. And she strictly just keeps them around for the old sperm donation, basically, in ant reproductive terms, that is. Pretty cool.
After the afternoon of hiking through the forested, canopied epicness, it was off to relax at the hotel for the rest of the night.
Pretty cool. This game's called To Crawl. It's pretty. It's got to be a great aerobic workout. I've never done it, but actually I did. I did it in Thailand, but they kicked my ass, so I quit. Anyway, this is the Terrasek View Motel. Come here at any time during the week, and there's like nobody in this entire town. It's a little hippie town. So I got the best room in the entire joint. All of the rooms are balcony rooms, so you can see. This is the Terrasek River. That's why it's called the Terrasek View Motel. It's got lush green jungles on all sides. It's really gorgeous. Management's pretty cool too if you can actually hunt them down. And as you can see, the rooms are nice, pretty comfy. They left the air conditioner on for me, which is so nice. I just got done hiking. One of my all-time big goals for Malaysia is the Taman Negara canopy walk. It's so much fun. It's not quite as hot as it is in the rest of Malaysia up here. It's not quite as tall as the Cameron Highlands. It's probably like midway, but that's enough to keep the temperature down a little bit. So anyway, the beds are nice and comfortable here, and they're all foam beds. I like that. So it's time for a shower, and then probably watch a movie or something.